Fantasy baseball season is here, and we're ready to get you guys going. Today, we're doing a quick little mock draft. We're going to show you, give you guys some strategy. We're going to do it from a random position throughout this draft. So we're going to randomize it. We'll go through the draft. We'll give you a little bit of strategy, give you a little bit of context, maybe hit on a couple of sleepers, and get you guys good to go for this fantasy baseball season. Let's get it started, boys.
Hey, David and Taco, they bring that heat. All about UFC, way more than a fantasy. Let's see who going toe to toe. Throw down on the mat, check the replay, run it back. We gotta check the stats. Hey, do this every day. We ain't come to play. This is sports talk, and we love talking MMA. Everything fantasy sports. Dopest show that I know. With Electric Dave and talented Mr. Taco. Let's go. Hey, G.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy, the talented Mr. Taco from the Daily Sporting, here with your boy, Ricky. We're here to get you ready for your fantasy baseball season. Ricky, tell me how you feeling.
I'm ready to go, man. I'm excited, ready to do this mock. It's been too long. I love doing these mocks, especially with you. We get to kind of argue and see where we go from here. But it's definitely a way to get everyone in line and what to do, especially if you're co-managing with someone or anything like that. So I'm excited, man. I'm ready to go.
Absolutely. And for this mock draft, we're going to do it from a random position since we really haven't done many mock drafts for you guys. So we'll give you a little bit of taste of just some real randomness. So ready, set, go.
Yeah, press it. Let's see what's going on.
11th. Okay.
11. All right.
Let's see how this works out. Should be
and
fun.
It's out of 12 teams. Let the people know.
We're doing it at 12 teams. We have the 11th pick out of 12 teams with the standard 5x5 category leagues for a 5x5 head-to-head league. Now, I think it's going to be interesting to see what we get with this first pick because obviously a lot of the big guys are going to be off the board already.
Yeah. I personally like 11 or 12. We come back around with the second pick.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I think there's going to be a fair amount of good players available at that time, and especially being able to get one, shortly after that, I think really opens it up. Wow, Trey Turner just went 6th.
Trey Turner went 6th. We're just talking about Trey Turner because I was saying that you would possibly have him at 7th. We do a league together, so that's what we were talking about earlier.
So now we're looking at guys like Christian Yelich, Jose Ramirez, Trevor Story, Freddie Freeman. Who else is here? We'll go to cheat sheets. Actually, I feel like this is a better way to sort on fantasy pros, just because you just get a better.
You get the more full lineup.
Yeah, you get all the positions a little bit easier, and you get a larger pool. What's taking this thing so long? Okay, cool. So here's what we got. It shows us Yelich, Ramirez, Story, Freeman, Harper, Lindor, Machado. These are the top guys on the board. Obviously, we're going to get a chance to possibly get, a second one of these guys, depending on who we like and who's left on the board. 2 are going to come off after this, and then we go again. That's one of the benefits of picking near the end of the draft or the beginning of the draft. You get those close picks back to back. I know who I like here, and I think to me this is a no-brainer. But I will let you go with who you like first, Ricky.
I like Yelich at the 11th pick. I believe more that he was what he was the 2 years in a row. 300, 30-something home runs, 100-something RBIs. So I believe that is the real Yelich. I don't really put much stock. I don't completely discount what happened last year. But with someone with Yelich, I will go that route, and I would pick him at 11. Who were you thinking?
Well, for me, it's going to be a guy that me and you argued about last year and his value. And I think we both know who that is, and that's Jose Ramirez. The guy virtually won the MVP in the AL. I think he may have won the MVP. I don't remember who won that, to be fully honest. But I do know this guy was a monster. And one of the main reasons why I would take Ramirez over Yelich, because I think they're both great bats. I think they both give you great upside. I don't think there's much of a difference. There's so many outfielders as you get deeper in this draft. Getting Ramirez, who plays third base off the bat, I feel like just makes it easier, especially in this upper part of the draft, because you'll be able to then snag pitching or another position without having to worry about that. Third base. You're gonna have an elite guy, and you'll be able to pick those outfielders in the middle of the draft who, I think won't be that far off from Yelich. And if Yelich does have that down year, and we're looking at some other guys in the middle of the draft who can be available at outfield, I think I would much rather take that situation and those upside, because there's a lot of guys in the middle of the pack in the outfield, or the middle of the draft in the outfield.
My only thing is with Yelich is he was a top 3 player 2
Yeah,
years
but
in a
so was
row.
Ramirez.
But Ramirez did have a bad first half. I believe it was the last full season.
If you throw out this
he had a
2019, if you throw out this first half of his 2019, he's been a dominant force in fantasy
football
for
again,
5 years.
That's just me.
Five. He's had one bad half of baseball in 5 years.
No, listen, you can't go wrong with Ramirez. I would just take Yelich. I think he's able to be a top 3 player when he has shown it 2 years in a row. I kind of discount what happened last year. But again, it's pulling hairs here, to be honest with you. Taco, it's just, to me, you want to pick Ramirez, I have no problem. Yeah. I would be debating them too as well, because I think I told you if I get him, it's either Yelich or Ramirez. I like them at 10. So, fun. It doesn't matter.
And for me, just because strategically speaking, like I said, like if you compare out the stats, you're going to get more stolen bases from a guy like Ramirez. So he opens you up in 5 categories versus 4 for Yelich.
Right.
And when you're looking at Yelich, he doesn't give you – he comes in at the outfield, which I was saying before. There's just so many outfielders later on.
Right.
That's why I lean to Ramirez, because, again, positional scarcity adds value to me.
I do like
that
he is. I do like the position. That is one of the reasons.
And see, look,
debating over.
We took the number. If Yelich played a different position, I look at this situation completely different.
Gotcha.
But because Ramirez plays third base, and I know outfield is so deep, I just can't do it. And if we come right here, I think it's a three-man race. Story, Lindor, Machado. Personally, last year I started my team with Jose Ramirez and Trevor Story, so that's actually how I was second in a Roto league. If it was head-to-head, I think I would have been better because I had a lot of pitching issues. But offensively, I think that's just such a dynamite combination that you get stolen bases, power, average, and that's coming from your third base and your shortstop. So third base typically is in a stolen base position, and you're getting steals there. You're getting the steals at the shortstop, which is a traditional stolen base position. Now it frees me up where if I get stolen bases in the outfield and run 3 guys that steal bases, I'm solid every week. I may not be the best, but at least I'm solid. And then you look at positions like second base and maybe another outfielder where you can add in depending on how much you want to go for steals. And you don't sacrifice power.
To me, again, I'm looking at what's left. I like Lindor. I think Lindor's have a big year, but I would take Story as well, just based off the stolen bases at shortstop too. That to me sells Story more than what Lindor would give. Even though I think Lindor is going to have a monster year, but again, that's also I'm biased. I'm a Met fan, but basically fantasy purposes, Story with the stolen bases is the better pick.
Yep. And
I'm not really looking at Bryce, even though I don't think he's have a bad year. I'm just not looking at Bryce when Story or Lindor's in.
No, and both of us weren't looking at pitching at that particular time because I think when you look at some of these pitchers that are there, I like them, but I don't love them, especially in comparison to a guy like Story. Bo Bichette is someone that I really would have liked, but that's pretty high for him to go. I mean, if we're looking at these starting pitchers now, a lot of them have come off the board where Clayton Kershaw is already off the board. That does make things a little bit interesting looking at the rotation and at the possible candidates. It's funny that we're looking at a third baseman just sitting right there, just boom. 2, 3 third basemen, just boom, boom, boom.
I know, that's true. That is funny.
But also at the same point in time, I'm looking at 2 stud outfielders in Kyle Tucker and Luis Robert, both who give you stolen bases and power upside. I'm looking at Alex Bregman, who can play shortstop as well and is a perennial big bat. Tim Anderson is someone who I know is highly undervalued because he gives you something in every category. He's been really consistent over these last couple of years, and last year He was a really, really solid find. If you look at him last year, 49 games, 280 bats, 67 hits, 45 runs, 10 home runs, 21 RBIs, 5 stolen bases, a 322 average, and he's playing for a good offensive team there in Chicago with the White Sox. So I definitely think that Tim Anderson offers a lot of flexibility because he gives you the different positions. But because we took Story, I feel like he's a non-factor. I feel like we can't
Yeah,
even really look at him.
I liked him, and I think the same thing. I don't think people talk enough about him.
Mhm.
But again, when you're doing these drafts, people out there, I mean, if you got Story ready to get Anderson is kind of just an overkill. When you have so many other positions to fill up. I also like Albies, to be honest with you.
I'll be honest with you. I was just looking to see if there's anything here to excite, but in full honesty, I'm in love with the two outfielders here. I had
Okay,
both of them on my team last
so you
year.
like Kyle Tucker? Because
I
that's
love I don't
that's the
listen. I don't like Kyle Tucker. I
love Kyle Tucker.
love I am Dave Gettleman looking at Daniel Jones. I'm in full bloom love. Like
I like Kyle Tucker
it's
too.
pretty romantic because last year I had him. He was a steal for me because I knew he'd get some time. He has a little bit of an average issue, but you know what? He has power. He has speed. He's a 5-tool guy. The average it sometimes leaves a little something to be
Yeah,
desired. But with what's going to be going on in Houston, you're going to have basically him filling in for George Springer. I like his upside here. You know, he's going to be someone that can go 20-20, hitting 270 with
right.
near 100 and 100. And that's a rare guy to find. And to get him here and to pair him possibly with Luis Robert, because to me, this is picking hairs on who I want more because Luis Robert, I mean, his average was down a little bit, but this guy is another, 30-30 type guy, 20 type guy
My only
at the
thing
bare minimum.
is my only thing is here is I like Albies for the second base position.
Uh-huh.
I believe if we pick Albies, I believe either Tucker, um, or what's his name? The guy you just mentioned. I forgot his name.
But see, to me, I would take both of them because I like them both over Albies.
See, to me, I
And
would take
me, I'm
Albies.
looking at a guy like right down here in Gleyber Torres on that next pick when we come back around. Because I think Gleyber Torres is better than Ozzy Albies.
No, I don't think he.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's going to be better than Albies this year.
I think
I
Albies
even
is one of the most overrated.
I don't know if Gleyber Torres will be there. Also, I don't know that he would be there when we get back.
I'll be honest with you. I'm not like, let's look at what Albies did. Yes, he had the 271 average, but he's not like his home run and stolen base upside is limited. Like if we compare categories, let's just say the Tucker and Albies, right? Like 6 home runs and 3 RBIs with a 278 average, right? Versus, and mind you, Kyle Tucker is a top level prospect, so it's not
Right.
like he's not coming in with some hype without some hype. But if you look at him, he has, and I wish this would load just a little bit better. He had 9 home runs, 8 stolen bases, and virtually the same thing. And I think that he's in a lineup where he's going to be required to do more. And he's, well, not more because Ozzy Albies is going to be hitting at the top of the Atlanta lineup. So I'm
He
not going
will.
to
He will be there.
get that. But I don't think Ozzy Albies is that much better or better at all than a Kyle Tucker. And I don't think his upside is there because the stolen bases aren't there. You know, he doesn't get the steals that you're going to get from Tucker. And when you draft a guy like Story Ramirez off the bat, I want to build on my stolen bases because now if I can, let's just say, get Story, Ramirez, Tucker, and Robert, all who could steal
Right.
bases off the riff, all with power, all with decent averages, all with good, should be in good runs and RBI situations. Boom. Now I'm set it. And now I just need maybe one more stolen base guy throughout. And I can litter myself with the power guys later on and just build this up. Even if I punt average and say, hey, boom, the 4 categories I'm going for: stolen bases, home runs, runs, and RBIs. I think that sets you up good. And Ozzy Albies, he's good, but not great.
To me, Albies, but at second base, he's probably the better than most any other second baseman. I mean, you have faith in Gleyber Torres. I don't have that much faith that he's going to be better than Albies.
Like, see, look, I think that Kentel Marte could be right there.
No,
I
I'm
think
not. I'm
I
actually. I
think
don't think.
what you
I
get out
think
of Jeff
Marte's gonna.
McNeil this season won't be that far off from Ozzy Albies. I
I
think Jeff
don't.
McNeil is criminally underrated.
I don't. Well,
Criminally.
not, I
Jeff
think
McNeil's
Marte's gonna
in
have
the
a
middle
bad
of the
season.
Mets lineup with Lindor now.
I think Marte's gonna have a bad season. So I'm not big on Marte this year at all.
Okay.
I would. Yeah. I don't think he's gonna
How
have
would
a
he have a
good
bad year?
I just that on my year is just I don't think he's going to have a good season in Arizona. I just don't see it. But again, to me, Albies is the better second baseman out there. That's why I would choose him. I definitely would choose Kyle
Like they
Tucker
say,
afterwards.
he's a prime bounce back candidate. I don't mind him, especially because you're going to pay for him a lot later. I think him and Ozzy Albies could be close in rankings, but I can get a guy like Kentel Marte significantly later.
Again, yeah, to me, Albies is the better second baseman overall. To me, it solidifies there my second, my shortstop, my third. I mean, that's to have Albies' story and who's the other guy we picked? I'm sorry. Oh, Ramirez. To me, that's a disgusting infield right there.
I'm on the opposite side of that spectrum because I do like the outfield. So I wish I had a coin right now that I could flip. I have.
We could undo it because I think we get one of the outfielders that you love. I think you hold. I think we get either one of them.
I honestly think I would take both here. Like I would take Tucker, or actually I'd probably take Robert first. Right? I take Robert first. Boom. And then maybe Albies is left. Maybe Albies is left. Albies gone.
Yeah. No. He to me, Albies is gonna be gone.
Nolan and Albies. Boom. Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. And then I take Tucker here. Right? Boom. And then at second base, I'm set for a prime candidate.
So to me, again, I would have gone Albies and then taking either Tucker.
Damn,
which again, I thought
Marte just went right there.
I think what's the name? I knew one of them or both of them.
Come on. Give me. Yes! We did it.
Well,
we did it. Hey, guess who we got? Hey. Glaber's right there.
I mean, look, to me again, Albies is better than Gleyber, but I could see why people think he's gonna. Again, I don't pull full stock either.
I think
last year.
There was a 77% chance would have been available the next pick. Damn, slight reach. Interesting.
Well, who they pick?
They said that Gleyber was a reach right there.
Oh yeah. Again, to me, to me, Albies is heads above Gleyber Torres.
Really?
Yeah.
What is about Albies that makes him so good? What has he ever done in his career? That's
he's consistent all throughout his whole career.
He's only been there for 3 years.
But all 3 years he's been good. When has he had a bad year? All 3 years.
He wasn't great. The like we'll discuss. I'm gonna table Ozzy Albies. He's gonna have a full breakdown. I'm gonna write it down.
He started in 2017, but he played 57 games. But again, his average has been 286, 261, 295, 271. But we're going average here, right?
Yep.
He had 72, 86 RBIs.
It's not
24 home runs.
Gleyber could easily get 100 RBIs in that Yankee offense, hitting fifth.
Yeah.
So again, that's a 20 RBI difference. And he has more power. Gleyber has more power.
Yeah, but Gleyber was bad last year. Like,
you know what bad. It is? Gleyber.
And again, I'm not saying I'm putting fully stock on him, but I do put stock on how bad he was. He wasn't just bad. He was.
Did you see what he did in the playoffs?
The Yankees were a good team.
But did you see what he did in the playoffs? He came alive. So that's what I'm saying. He had a little bit of injuries. He wasn't in the one thing about last year. Also, we have to factor in there was a stop and a start. And Cashman was saying that when they stopped, he wasn't able to maintain the shape when he went back to where he went because he didn't have the facilities to work out in. So when he came back from the break, it hurt him because he wasn't in optimal shape. If you look at him this season, coming into from the offseason into this season, Glaber is in great shape. He already has 3 home runs in the spring. He's showing the quickness to the ball. He's been studying a lot with DJ LeMahieu. I promise you, Glaber Torres is set for a breakout year. And I know that they're going to call me a homer on this one. But remember, this kid was a top prospect. It's not like he doesn't have – he was a higher graded prospect than Ozzy Albies. So that's why I also say that as well. I don't think Ozzy Albies is to me, there's no difference. There's no difference. They're both good.
I got you.
But let's keep it moving. Now here, honestly, I love Yordan. Yordan is great. Normally I'd be all about it, but pitching right now we have none. We're a full offensive team. We're stacked. We're stacked to the act. But pitching, we need a little pitching. Now here, Ryu, Strasburg, Hendricks, Gray. I'll take one of these guys. I'll start my staff with them because I know I'm going to grab pitchers throughout. More than likely, the way this thing is set up, we went for stolen bases, so we're not going for saves. I feel like you're going to go for one of the two, either stolen bases or save. You might be lucky enough to go for both, but then you're probably giving up home runs. It's how it works. There's going to be a category where you're not going to be strong, and it's just impossible to draft a piece like that unless you're just playing in a team, a league full of just garbage. But I think Strasburg or Ryu, who you like here?
You know, I'm not a big fan of Strasburg. He's
I'll give
hurt
this
last year.
Personally, I take Strasburg, but Ryu's not bad. For the sake of keeping it moving, I'll take Ryu. We'll keep it moving.
Or Kendricks. I like Hendricks as well.
Yeah, I think I would take Ryu over Kendricks because
I would take Ryu over him, but I do like Kyle. I do like him.
Keston Hurio. That is my guy.
I would take those two over Strasburg, but yeah.
Oof. One pick away. Oof. Stantonian. I think he's going to be having a monster year.
Well, I think I think I posted it on Instagram. Stan is good if you get him outside 100. To me.
Well, I mean, he's going around this pick. I mean, here, I it makes sense. In the 70s, 80s, I think is fine.
To me, I think his value is more if he's like around 90, 100. You know, 9th or 10th round.
If he's healthy, while he's just had one bad season, he's had one unhealthy season. When he's healthy, because think about it, in his career, if he's had 6 seasons and he has had 1 injured season, yes, it may have been recent, but he's done things to change his body.
The last 2 seasons,
top 20.
Yeah, the last 2 seasons, Steve. He's made 18% of his appearance. It's hard for me to tell him
last season was also different because they kept him out, and the season before that, the Yankees were very safe with him because he's had hamstring injuries. He's completely redone how he changed in the offseason in order to help change.
I have problems with big guys like that. Those guys. Simple movements for those guys are not simple. A simple movement can mean him getting hurt, his hip.
But that's also why now he's not. They've increased his calisthenics and his yoga in order to increase his flexibility in order to deal with those type of injuries. They've done a lot of science and research on it. So I'm going to tell you this again because he's probably going to play at least 120 games at least. And if you're getting 120 games out of Stanton, you're happy, and drafting him in the 70s is a steal because he could easily put up league leading home runs easily. So he could be this year's Jose Abreu. Easy.
I put like I said, if he gives you about 120, 130, you're probably more than happy. It's hard to say that he's going to do that. It's if he gives you 100 games and you pick them at 7th, 8th, then you just wasted. Not wasted a pick, but you pretty much.
I'll be honest with you. The odds of him missing 60 games are very small this season. It's possible, yes. But I think it's very small that you're going to see him miss 60 games again. The odds are against it. But for this pick, back to where we're going, I think that this opens it up. We did need some more starting pitching. There are some outfielders here, some first basemen. I think those are 2 things that are something that we can look at. First baseman does have a little bit of drop off, but I think we both like Dominic Smith, but we don't know what his full role is going to be. So maybe rolling the dice there is a little bit hard. I do think like Ball Goldschmidt is a guy that said that he could have a real great breakback year. He did good with the average. He'll have some guys on base to knock in. He's going to be hitting second in that lineup, so that's going to be good for his run chances. And you probably have a guy like Arenado hitting behind him. So I think that sets up Paul Goldschmidt for a great year.
I would
Pitching-wise,
choose Goldschmidt here. That I would probably choose
starting pitching
Goldschmidt.
wise, there's Kyle Hendricks, there's Barrios, there's Wheeler. And relief pitching wise, there's Edwin Diaz, Iglesias, Presley. So,
So me personally, I would go Goldschmidt for first
yep,
base
I,
right
I
now,
agree.
and then look at what pitchers left because I do think we need to start looking
I'd
at
be honest with you though, if Austin Meadows is there, it's going to be hard
uh,
because the way this
over the
team is
pitching
built.
that's there. It depends who's there.
Let's see, got a value pick there with Goldie,
Yeah, I think Goldie was a no-brainer there.
and starting pitching wise, because I just believe in Austin Meadows as a prospect and a player. I think that getting him this late is a steal. I think people just don't understand him.
I like Hendricks or Barry over Meadows. How we need pitching, to me, for this team, those two would mean more than getting Austin Meadows. That's how I would feel. I would definitely go with, like I said, either Hendricks or Barry.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's what I said about outfield depth, and it's just a situation of I would love to have Meadows there, but once you get Robert and Tucker, you kind of understand that. And the situations like this, you want to go with the starting pitcher to at least balance it out, especially when not having an ace.
Yes, that is key to us, and I think the viewers have to realize that you don't have an ace.
This offense is stacked.
Yes, the offense is stacked. So you don't have an ace. To me, you have to assure you at least get two really good top pitchers. And I think Kyle Hendricks and Ryu do fit that mold where, hey, yeah, your pitcher might be a little weaker, but it's not, oh my God, hey, it's not like we don't have anybody.
Now, I think this becomes an interesting situation. I think Morton could have a bounce back season. I think Russell Iglesias for a closer here could definitely help balance out stuff while being an effective pitcher. I think Ryan Presley is someone that's interesting here as a closer. I do think that it's kind of a situation you want to go with a pitcher, though.
Yeah, I mean, I
really like, but he did have a rough year last year.
He did,
and I'm just not sure, but I think at this point, based on not having aces and wanting to have the potential here, Chris Paddock's potential is ace. Like, yes, as Iglesias can get, ace type closer numbers, but the question is, how many saves are you really going to get in the Angels? How many wins are the Angels really going to get this year? They're perennial, 500 or less most of the time. Whereas we know San Diego's a great offense. We know San Diego is going to be a team that's going to be going for the playoffs. They're going to be going deep. We know we're going to get wins. And we didn't go with a lot of starting pitchers. So I get a guy that has potential ace stuff. So I think Paddock is the guy.
Again, I'm not looking at relievers right now. The way we drafted and how we have just those two pitchers, I'm really not looking at relievers. So,
I could see the value of a reliever there because we have two guys that have great ratios. And by taking those boom, closer, you could balance out your ratios, and then you take another starting pitcher, a couple starting pitchers later on that'll get you the Ks and get you the wins. I think it just really depends on the pitchers and how much you like them, because I think it's where you could really double down if you don't have top flight pitchers in order to lower your overall ERA and WHIP each week. By taking some of these guys, and you increase your save chances, which makes your pitching staff a little bit more dangerous when you're thinking about it. But it really just depends on the guys who you're looking at. And again, like I said, Chris Paddock has potential ace stuff, so that's why I definitely would go there. And with this pick, I think it's interesting because I would have loved if one of those closers would have been there. It would have made life really easy.
Yeah.
Because then that would have made sense. But I think Presley is someone who last year was really good. Like if you, when he took over the closing spot, he was really good, if I remember
Yeah,
correctly.
he came. I had him last year. He came in later, and once he took over the closing job, you saw what they were talking about.
And if you look at his 3 seasons before that, 0.90, 1.1, 1.6. I mean, I don't think that he's going to get reduced, this low, but I do think that it's easy to see him closer to this, like a 1.6, a 1.5, a 1.1. I don't know if he'll hit the 0.9 again, but I do like him overall. Starting pitching wise, I think you could take another pitcher here. As far as it goes, I think Morton or Musgrove or McCullers. Oh, I'm cool, probably pretty much with all of them. But I would lean probably toward taking the closer here.
Me, I probably would go with the starting pitcher because I like one of those three. But again, the way we pick, we're gonna get one of those starting pitchers. So I don't mind going with the closer because you get your closer, you get a guy like Presley that's gonna help you
Yeah,
with
because I
your
mean, to me,
ERA, your WHIP.
this is your 10th pick. I have 3
Right.
pretty good pitchers. This balances out my other stats. It leaves me in a position now where actually I'll compete a little bit in saves. Right now, I can get another guy in a couple of rounds and not really worry about it because of the way the offense is built. We don't have to really reach too much for hitting. So in this part of the draft, we could really just kind of take the values as they come because
Yeah.
If there's a good closer here, which there isn't, thank God we got that other guy because now when we get one guy at the end, he'll balance it out or we have potential trade bait. So we'll just go quickly and look at the starting pitching. I think McCullers being there is really nice.
Yeah, I like McCullers there too.
I like Sixto there as well.
What are the batters left?
Yeah, let's take a look at the overall. Verdugo, Soler, Hoskins, Laureano. I think this is a situation because of the way this team is built. McCullers makes the most sense by bolstering up that staff. I mean, the offense already as is stacked, and we'll still be able to pick up some value hitters and utility guys as we go down.
I mean, I do like Soler. I do like what he brings. I think he's going to have another 30 home runs. But I probably would go with McCullers.
Yeah, but his average at 228.
Yeah.
I mean,
well,
once
we
we
have
got
other.
Goldschmidt, I felt like he'll kind of bring up the average a little bit. So if you can get a couple of average guys here at the end, you might not be the very best, but you'll beat most teams. In average, like you're not going to be the absolute top, but you're not going to be like bottom. And or that kind of saves you for taking another guy later on in the draft who might offer similar stuff. Whereas Lance McCullers, I think he has the potential to be, as a really solid pitcher. Look, he had the 1.6 WHIP. He's had sub 4 ERAs. He has, decent Ks. You're looking about a K per inning or more. I think that it sets it up, especially with this team. Like you said, we didn't go pitching heavy early.
Yeah.
It builds us up now where we have Ryu, Hendricks, Paddock, and McCullers. So now you could even say, like, our pitching isn't even bad. Like, we have a solid staff. It's a lot of mid-level guys. But, their matchups are a little bit better, too, because you think about it. You got Paddock in the NL West. You got McCullers in the AL See,
I think to us with our pitching staff, how we see it, I think Paddock is going to be important if you're drafting a team like this, because if Paddock does what we thought he was going to do last year, he makes your pitching staff now, above average. That pitching staff with him thinking what I think he could be, it makes your pitching staff really that much better.
Now, to me, this gets interesting because I think that Soler could be interesting here, but Bell is interesting here. Reese Hoskins is interesting here. Laureano is interesting here. So is Gossman, and so is Sixto. Now, this is the 12th round.
Right.
Gossman last year had a great year.
Yeah, he did.
He's probably going to be the ace. He is loaded.
I think he's
loaded NL West.
He's the opener.
We see Victor Robles as the guy that's going to be hitting the lead off this year with speed. I don't have his preseason stats, but if I saw him for average,
I think even if we wait on Victor, we get him.
Yeah, no, this is our Is this our first pick? Oh, so our next pick is in 21 picks. So
I
this
still
next
think
guy that we
possible
get, we're not
Robles is
getting
there.
back.
Maybe
He
not.
won't be there. No, he
Yeah,
won't be
right.
there. So this is, if we want him, he would take him. A guy that's interesting to me here is Sixto. I think we spoke about it. His
Yeah,
upside is crazy.
right. But
He
he's going to be
also
limited in innings.
he
So
is,
I got to take that into consideration because
but
from
this
what
is also the 12th round and 134th pick. So even if he has limited innings, I don't think it really hurts us as much because his upside is so high that it could bolster the team. Taking another offensive piece might not be bad here. What do you
I
think?
actually like Soler. I wanted him last pick. I probably get him now. And what was this? I mean, the average is what we're worried about, you know?
Yeah, and he's only had one season where he's put up he's only had one season he played 162. Every other season he's played less than 100 -1 in 2015. So it's not like he plays, that much. He is, like you say, kind of an injury
Yeah.
risk with him. His average isn't the best, and he does have some power. Kebron Hayes is someone that's interesting as well. I think that he's a really good potential kid sitting in that lineup in Pittsburgh. He gives you great average. I had him for a little bit last year. I didn't expect him to actually play as good as he did. When you look at him as a prospect, I think he's outplayed what they had him graded at. But I do think that he shows a lot of promise and potential. And I also think that a guy like Gio Urshela, who was there, no, he is there. I think he's also an underrated guy, especially when you look at what he's done. 298 average. He had 6 home runs. He gave you 24 runs, 30 RBIs. He's hitting in that powerful Yankees lineup. I think both these guys are a little bit better overall, and they do kind of like what I said. They don't kill your average. They may not hit the potential 48 home runs that Soler may get you, but they'll give you kind of better all around stats. I feel like.
I mean, I would not reach for those guys there. I'm just picking. I'm not the guys. I would pick Bell over the guys you just mentioned. I'm not going over. I'm not choosing Ursula. I mean, Soler I would choose over Ursula. I probably would choose Bell over Ursula.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I mean, I look what he did last year. Well, what did he have last year?
So you don't even know why you would pick him over? Like the Gio hit like 270. These guys are hitting 210.
Gio doesn't hit for what is he at 270? Doesn't hit power? Not hitting RBIs.
Power.
What is he? How many home runs did he have last year?
He had 6 home runs in 43 games. He only had 151 at bats and 6 home runs. He had 30 RBIs and 24 runs, and he had 298.
So, and Bell did what? I don't know.
Bell hit like 220.
But besides that, not just the average, he had, what do you have average? 226. He had 22 RBIs, 8 home runs.
Gio had 30 RBIs and 6 home runs. How is Gio Urshela not a better player than and not even close, because Gio Urshela's upside in a Yankee lineup is insane. Because the Yankees are going to hit. They're going to be a top 5 offense in the baseball.
I don't know if I'm sold on Ursula. But to me, again, I think he'll be there. Well, actually, we have to wait 21 picks?
Yep. I think another guy here, I would take Victor Robles. I would take Sixto. I would take Rhys Hoskins or Ramon Laureano over Joe Soler. Again, to me, if you look at Soler, he doesn't play games. And I think he's a prime bounce back candidate here in Ramon Laureano. But we'll just end it with this, and then we'll keep moving to finish up this draft. But if we look at Soler in his games, he's only had one season where he's played 162 games. Other than that, he has not been able to do that. In that season, yes, he did hit 48 home runs, but if you look perennially, his average really isn't that great. And are we really expecting George Soler to come out and bust out 50 home runs and hit 270 again? Is that what you're saying? It's a one season out of 1, 2. Like
No,
if you
I
compare,
don't
if
think
you
I don't
compare
think
them
his
even to a
average.
guy like Gio Urshela and stuff like that, Gio's at least put up more consistent seasons than Soler so far. Soler's really only had
To me,
one season.
I don't get to see him missing 60 games.
So
I do
you
see
think
him hit
that
him.
Soler's going to have a better shot to be healthy and more productive than Giancarlo
Yeah,
Stanton?
yeah, yeah.
You would take
I do.
Stanton, Soler over Stanton.
I would take Stan and around the hundreds. Soler around this. You said you want to take Stan at 7 or 8. I'm not taking Stan
No,
at 7 or 8.
Stanton went 78.
That's what I'm saying.
He got drafted by someone else.
That's where I'm telling you I don't see the value there. If you're telling me it's the 10th, the 11th round, yes, I'll take Stan.
Man, you
I'm
must
not
think
taking him
Stanton is
on 7.
trash, or you must really think that Stanton is not going to play more than like 50 or 60 games this year.
No, I think he's very possible to miss 60 games. That to me is not unrealistic. How Stanton has been the last couple of seasons.
Anybody can miss 60 games. Yes, he's had 2 seasons
That's
where he has
that's
been
a
in.
that's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot to miss 60 games. Can't just say that. That's a lot of games to miss. If you pick Stan at 7 or 8, if you pick Stan at 7th or 8th round, Steve, and he only plays 100 games, you got no value. That was a bad pick.
I wouldn't say no value.
Not value, but that's a bad pick. Come on. If he misses 60 games and you choose him 7th, 8th round, you did not get a good pick.
Before I agree with that, does he miss the games in the playoffs or before the playoffs?
Well,
because I don't give a, if I'm in the playoffs and he comes back to the playoffs,
because we're not.
That's the wild card for me.
Come on, Steve. Yeah,
if he's healthy for the playoffs,
I can't tell you what weekends and weeks he's going to play, and can't do that.
Listen,
I'm saying
if you're gonna predict, you got to go all the way, bro. You got to go all the way.
No, come on.
But I mean, what's crazy here is that Victor Robles and Gio Urshela was there. The experts did say that Soler was the guy.
But what did I tell you? I told you. I even told you Victor Robles would be there 21 picks later, dude.
I don't agree with it.
To me, there was no way Victor and Ursula were not going to be there 21 picks later. I knew that.
I'm gonna say it right now. Consensus is crazy, and I'll prove it again when Gio Urshela again for another season is gonna come up, and he's gonna.
You might be right about Urshela. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's Yankees. I don't like the Yankees, but I knew one thing again, and people out there have to look. You guys have to trust your instinct. If you think some guy's gonna be there, and you think, hey. I'll take the risk.
That's not always right. Listen, you get
not
lucky
always.
Sometimes you don't. Look at Gleyber Torres. We didn't think Gleyber would be there, and boom, Gleyber was there. But in this point in the draft, I think that the relief pitching, there's no closures there, so there's really nothing that we can go for. Maybe take some pitchers, who have good ratios.
Any closers left?
I mean, well, Rafael Montero, I guess, would be the closer. Colomé, is he the closer? Pomeranz actually. There's a couple of closers left.
I like Richard Rodriguez.
Really?
But he might get traded down the road. That is the only issue I have with him. He's going to be the closer in Pittsburgh.
I like this kid so much more.
Gavin Williams?
Like infinitely more. 27 innings and 53 Ks. Are you shitting me? That's like an 18 strikeout ratio. That's insane. But I mean, I guess this is a situation where we do pick twice. Pablo Lopez is there. There's a couple of starting pitchers. There is some relievers there. Do you want to go with Richard Rodriguez if you think he's going to take the spot? Rafael Montero.
I think he will be the spot. My issue that with Richard Rodriguez is that he will get traded at some point. I think he's a prime candidate to be traded at some point, and it depends where he gets traded. Is the issue that I might have.
So then it's a situation of, do we take a starting pitcher or do we go with a utility player?
Who are the pitchers left?
You're looking at them right now. Pablo Lopez, Montez, Marquez. I think Pablo Lopez.
I like Pablo Lopez. I like Pablo Lopez.
He's been the guy that I've relied on for the last couple of seasons for spot starts, and last season he moved into a pretty good situation. These guys love picking up versus the Mets.
If you ask me, I would pick Pablo Lopez. I like Pablo Lopez a lot too. Yep. I think he's actually a great team. I actually like that Miami rotation.
I think Miami's underrated. Damn, there goes Willie. Damn, bro. Damn. Damn. They got my guy. But, you know, I'm not gonna lie. My rankings are a little bit different than the experts because I am my own expert. So, we put it like
Yeah.
that. But all right, so we can round it out. We have a couple more picks left, so we can get it going. So we're gonna hit these in the speed rounds. We're gonna finish these in 5 minutes or less, probably.
Okay.
All right, so off the bat here,
And
we have
also,
two.
just to let viewers know, because we haven't even looked at catchers, I'm not big with getting catchers.
Nope.
Like, unless something drastically happens
Actually,
and the guy falls there, I'm not. I'm
actually,
not
right
going
here,
crazy.
158 for Gary Sanchez or James
Yeah,
McCann. I'm not mad at it.
I
Although
would.
there's utility guys right there, so I would probably take a guy like Victor Robles or Gio Urshela, two guys that I like that are still here, build up the offense. I do like the Victor Robles upside
I
because
actually
of the
like Didi too. I'll be honest with you, I like Didi.
Didi's okay to me. I'm not gonna lie, Didi's not bad. You could be
I
worse
like
than
Didi. I
Didi.
think. I think he'll be better this year. Even. Dude, but again, I
I
don't mind
just
any
like
of those guys, Victor
Robles'
or
stolen base upside though with this team though just makes too much sense because he builds category dominance, which is
right.
something that we do preach. And he's supposed to be hitting at the top of the lineup for the Nationals this year, behind guys like Turner and Soto, so he should get runs. I think that Robles here is a steal at 158
No,
just because of
I
the
don't
stolen
mind
bases.
Robles at earlier.
I
I don't
just
mind
think
Robles at all.
the stolen bases are not that easy to find now, and that stolen base upside with everything that's already here, I think that's too much to pass. And again, boom, a lot of people are down on Robles, and I understand, but um, I think he does have good upside. Boom, and
I
there
think
goes
that's a good.
Sanchez. It
That's a
was,
good
and there
value
goes
there.
Urshela. Boom, all those guys right there. Dustin May goes, Villar,
Didi's
Gregorius,
gone.
Tyone is gone. Oof, oof. Give me Marcus Stroman. Where's
I love
Marcus
Stroman
Stroman?
too. Did he
I
stop?
like that he was messing around with that new pitch.
Yeah,
I like
I
that
like
he's pitching
Stroman too.
for a contract.
No, but Stroman must have been gone already. No,
No,
Stroman is gone. Yeah, Steve,
bro,
Stroman is gone.
it's Marcus
No way.
Stroman.
Stroman is
Marcus,
gone. No, he's still there. Oh,
yeah, bro. Marcus. I mean, it's Marcus Stroman, bro. Like we're reaching
still,
a
I'm
little.
surprised. They took Walker. They took Tajon Walker over Stroman.
I would take probably Walker over Stroman. It
No,
depends. It
I would take
depends.
Stroman. Walker had what, one good year last year. That was it, right?
Yeah, but
He's not
he's the
like
higher.
he hasn't been
He has
good his
he
career.
has better velo though.
Hmm.
Like I like his repertoire and
I don't
stuff.
know. Yeah, last year was his first great
I
year.
think that Stroman could have a bounce back year though, and he's pitching for a
Yeah,
contract. And I like what he's added to his arsenal. And at
yeah.
179, you definitely could do worse.
I'm surprised
Um,
Walker went there before Stroman, but that's me.
yeah, and let's see here. Rafael Montero's there. Richard Rodriguez is still there. Amir Garrett is still there. Gallegos, Hicks, Romano, Drew Pomeranz. So there's a couple of guys left there. Catching wise, at this point in time, James McCann is there. Murphy's there. Nola's there. Garvey's there. Yachty. I think we could wait a little bit longer on catcher. I think
I
that
wouldn't mind. I wouldn't mind picking McCann at this value right here with
I
what's left over.
I'd rather take one of these closers.
Yeah, no, I don't mind that either.
I think that he's going to be the alleged starter closer, right?
Yeah,
So if that's the case, then San Diego's going to be a good team. Let's get another closer in there, see what happens. That's more valuable to me than a catcher that's okay. He's not great. He's had one season, and he'll probably be there on the way back.
yeah, you know that.
Let's see. And even then, there goes McCann. There goes
Yeah,
Pineda too. There goes Garrett. There goes Gallegos. Woof. Savali's gone. Sano is gone. Don't you,
yeah.
Sano? All right. So now this is going to get interesting. 203rd pick. baseball gets down and dirty. Damn, this is a 49-minute mock draft, people, and I said I was going to make it quick.
Oh my God! It went 49 minutes already.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right. Richard Rodriguez is still on the board.
still on
He
the
may
board.
be our little sleeper. I think at this point in the draft, there's some interesting guys. I think some pitchers will be nice to fill out. I think Justin Turner's in a good situation and is a good hitter. 4 home runs, but the great average to help balance out some of these guys.
Yeah,
I think that he's a solid play here.
yeah, I don't mind Justin Turner here at this pick either.
Boom.
And again, the viewers have to look if you need a guy with average. If you're
50%
missing,
chance if available at the next pick. Honestly, I'm not looking at what the other team has either, so that also could factor into some of these things. But I just like Justin Turner for the team, for what we're building. So, You know what?
But I mean, that's what the viewers have to look at their team. I mean, you are going to look at what other people have. You could kind of determine, hey, if I don't pick this guy, he's missing this spot. He'll probably choose him, and then you lose out. So,
but
again, viewers, we're not looking at other teams.
We're just more focused on building the actual team.
Right. We're not looking at what other people are picking or what they're missing, basically.
Mm-hmm. I think here, if you're talking about Richard Rodriguez and all that, we can afford it even if he misses at this point because it's the 18th pick.
Yeah.
So even if he does get traded and it's a bad situation, we have 3 closers now, which is kind of crazy to think about that we have 3 closers in all these pitchers. Like when you started
we did first nothing but 6 bats, right? 7 bats, I think, right? So
and when you look at this pitching staff, this is not a bad pitching staff.
No.
I like this pitching. I think you're a little bit more shocked than you would have thought.
Yeah.
Like when you look at that pitching staff, you thought, because you always tell me, Taco, you got to get a pitcher here because if you wait any longer, you're not gonna have anything. And then boom, you look at it. We went like 6 batters almost, and now we're pitching. And this pitching staff is good.
Pitching staff is good,
and we could still get some guys to add to it. And I think that, a guy like Montgomery, Yarborough, Means, Mana, Ordozzi, Boyd, Herman, I think Taiwan Walker.
Okay.
I think all these guys,
I messed up there. I looked at the different. I'm sorry. I was looking at a different Walker. That's what I said.
Nate Pearson. I think that's another guy. All these guys are still left, so we can still add to this bullpen to make it even better. Is Archie Bradley going to be the closer there?
I don't know if he's going to be the closer.
I do like him more than I like Nieres, though.
Yeah, no, I don't like Nieres either. Because he could lose that at any moment.
I think we should just take Bradley there just to balance out the rest of that rotation. So this way we'll have guys that are be good with the ERA, good with their whip. There's 100% chance Archie Bradley would have been available at the next pick. Well, this is why you guys don't win just by going by picks. You have to build a strategy of how you want to build your team.
One thing I do see is there. Also, I saw Bass. This is just for people. Hey, if you don't have any closers, you can wait on someone like Bass who's going to be at what round are we in now?
20th.
20th. I think he's going to be the closer starting off. Now, again, they do have, I think, I forgot his name, Hernandez, right? Mm-hmm. Where he could take over, but he's actually been pitching bad this spring training. So it seems like Bass is going to be the closer from the beginning of the season. That's what it looks like.
Honestly, right here, I think that there's still going to be some good bats when it comes around. Even guys like Aaron Hicks, it seems like might be able to be left. But I do believe that Jordan Montgomery can have a really great year pitching for the Yankees. I do get to see a lot of him, so I've been able to see his numbers. He's really been solid. He's not the best. He's a guy that, versus certain matchups, you may want to put him on the bench. But overall, I think he'll be a solid guy for you, especially in those plus matchups when you have a team like the Yankees that are going to blow out a lot of teams. He'll get the wins. If you look at him in his rookie season, 3.88 ERA, 123 whip, 9 wins. So this kid, I think he has good potential for a 20th round pick. to get
Right.
almost 10 wins. 10 wins out of your 20th pick is pretty insane, if you ask me.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't mind going with Montgomery. Like you said, him being on the Yankees is really what helps his value at that point.
Yep. But also I could see a guy like Benintendi, being interesting, and Kyle Schwarber's interesting.
I
Um,
also interested in Austin Riley.
but you know what? I think
His
I'll just take
that
this guy.
the average is what kills me, but
Yeah.
the average is what kills me with Riley. But
I
I
think that
think he's
Montgomery might be
interesting.
there with the next pick, though. That's the only reason why I'm just like not taking him. Wow. And you're this dude would have been available. They're just telling me everyone I like is going to be available with all these picks. But yeah, guess what? Now I'm getting all of them. Fuck that.
And it works like that. Viewers out there, you skip on something, and then the best feeling is that they come back around.
Yep.
And they're still there. There's
Now,
no better feeling than that.
I think at this point in the draft, we can go two ways. We could either punt catching and use it to get another pitcher for the lineup to make sure that the pitching is crazy, or we do take
I mean, I hate when you say punt, you like not picking a catcher at all.
Yeah. Because I don't want to take the average.
Don't like that, but because
remember,
eventually we have to get a catcher.
What?
Because eventually we probably have to get a catcher.
No, I mean, I think that this offense is stacked, bro. Remember, we spent all the early picks on the offense, and pitching wise, we'll have guys that'll make up for not having the top pitching guys because we're so deep. Like pitching is deep.
Who's left in catching? Just out of curiosity.
Catching: Yan Gomes, Jansen, Murphy, Jeffers, Navarez.
Yeah, there's really no one left.
Yeah, like Joey Bart is someone I'll look. Maybe if he gets called up, I'll like him. But catching, I'll just
again. Now this is viewers. Because a lot of viewers, we've been doing this for a while. There's times where we've never had a catcher. We've known people that don't put a catcher in their lineup and they're fine with it. But again, viewers out there, you guys have to make that decision.
Yep. And again,
you're going to leave
remember,
a position open.
Sometimes with these catchers, they're playing, not every day, or they're hitting like 220, and this guy will literally destroy your average without giving you many runs and home runs. And
what the viewers have to look at.
So if you look at a catcher that doesn't give you average and it doesn't give you stolen bases, and they're not the best RBI guys, it's a negative to your team. It's like getting a guy that
I'm with you at this point. Like what I'm saying to you is we could have got a catcher earlier that wouldn't have completely killed us, and we're not missing a spot. But the viewers out there, the issue that and I kind of agree with Steve is at this point, any catcher we get is probably going to be more of a detriment.
Also, my theory is this: you're either going for closers or you're going for maybe catchers. But let's look at these. Which catcher are you spending the capital on that you believe is going to be so fantastic? Because McCann, if we just look at McCann, he's had one in his whole career.
But again, to me at the pick that we were going to get him, to me it would have been worth it with what was left over. Because after we stopped with McCann, I was not getting Yadi or Molina. I was not going to get any of those guys afterwards. I mean, to me and McCann are where we are.
Is Yadi Molina really that much of a difference than McCann, who's done one season? I don't really think that Yadi's a better average guy. I don't really think that I would take Yadi and McCann.
There's a better
really no difference.
Yadi is going to be what he is. There's no upside there. He's not going to do better.
But there is no upside on McCann. McCann is not an all-star.
No, but McCann was an all-star, I think, once the year before. He was an all-star. So again, to me, McCann.
Is it because they had to give one to each team? Were we still playing into those rules? Everyone gets an all-star. Like you're an all-star.
I don't know. I don't know if that was the case.
Baseball
to me, McCann at the pick that we could have got him was worth it because he wasn't going to kill your team there. He was not going to. McCann, and he could do better than what he was projected to.
Let's just.
That's just me. To me, McCann was kind of where the cutoff was.
I mean, yeah, McCann is probably the last playable catcher.
That to me, at that pick was worth it. That he wasn't going to kill you. You could get someone that could do well, and again, he wasn't going to kill your team. To me, McCann is the kind of the cutoff.
Austin Nola. So James McCann went right here, and we had taken Turner. Turner or McCann? Who do you think is a better?
To me again, I to have McCann at a catcher would have been better right there. I
Maybe.
Thinking about it, I would have probably taken McCann over Turner again. I asked you, we should probably get McCann. But again, I'm not going to go crazy over McCann, but to me, it was a better pick at that point. Because like at this point, you're left with nobody left. That's it. Like you said, the last playable catcher, that you can play every day.
I mean, Mitch Garver's not terrible.
Yeah.
I guess maybe I could agree with you. Maybe. But in all honesty, I'm just not very high on any of these catchers. I just really don't trust any of them. I don't think that they're going to be long term, anything special. I honestly, this season I'm very, very iffy on it. I'm even iffy on guys like
Well, I'm not big on catchers either. So someone that picks a catcher within the first 10 rounds, I wouldn't get. I wouldn't get someone that does that.
I guess we could take a guy like Tom Murphy.
Another guy that got picked and that we were kind of debating, even though he's been playing bad in spring, was Gary Sanchez. But I think at the round where we kind of look at him, he might have been worth the risk. But again, I don't, Gary Sanchez is it's 50-50 at this point, whether he's going to bomb it for you or he's going to be some resolute. He's some something that he was before. Mm-hmm. Some showing, Because to me, Gary Sanchez is going to be there late in the round.
Let's see.
I think people are staying away from him.
I mean, at this point in the draft, I do think that Austin Riley or Aaron Hicks fit this team, or Benintendi.
Yeah, I like Austin Riley.
Yep. I think he's a top prospect. Yeah, and I like Gavin Lux a lot, too.
Who do you like?
Gavin Lux.
Yeah. But I do like Riley. I am a big guy in Riley this year.
But
his average scares me. His average scares me.
Kalinick is a nice one. Wander Franco. Nimmo.
Yeah.
Andrew Vaughn. That's going to be an interesting name when you think about it because he's being moved to the outfield since they had the injury. He was he's a top prospect too.
And for viewers to look there, I think Bard is out there. I think he's going to start as the closer.
He might.
So he might start as a closer. Again, this is just for people, hey, when you're desperate and the Bard is out there, it's not worth – I mean, it's worth picking him at that point.
And last pick, I think that Jordan Montgomery or Gavin Lux here. I think with the way this offense is built, we only need like one bench bat, and just bring the pain.
Okay,
bring the pain. But is Gavin Lux starting in the majors?
Yeah, I'm afraid that he'll get sent out. I'm afraid he'll get sent out. Yeah, but I'm afraid he'll get sent out. I don't know where they'll find time for him. That's my only issue. If he was solidified, but he's not. That is my only issue with Lux. Like at some point he could be sent out.
Let's see what this looks like. 86 out of 101 or out of 100. It's not terrible.
It's not terrible.
I actually like to see a lot better because there's a lot of guys here that I'm higher on than consensus. I mean, I personally think that Robert and Tucker are going to have big seasons. I think Torres is set for the breakout. I think some of these pitchers will be pretty good, but overall, I don't think that's a bad team, and I think that this is a team that you can go into war with. Is it the absolute best? Well, I mean, you are picking 11th, so you are playing with what you got, and you're set to make moves in the waiver wire. Catcher is probably the only position here where we do think that maybe we could have upgraded throughout the draft from where we were. But overall, I mean, you have Story, Goldschmidt, Torres, Ramirez, Robert, Tucker, Soler.
I think those first 5 or 6 bats that we got really solidify our lineup. I think we have 5 or bats that are going to do great. Um, like you said, can we improve in certain areas? Yeah. But when you're picking 11, hey, like you're not going to get all the guys in every position,
Mhm.
stud guys. But I think what we did the first 5 or 6 bats really help us kind of, whether it's reaching or whatever you think it is, we were able to get players that, hey, we could take a chance here.
And I just want to say for our category based people, which is what we focus on, second in runs, second in home runs, second in RBIs, second in stolen bases. That's 4.
Yep.
Fourth in saves. That's 5. Seventh in whip, seventh in Ks, 7 in ERA. That 50-50. You make some plays. You're smart about your starts. You can get this up during the week.
Yeah.
You're talking about that's 4 or 5, and these are your 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 solid, and your 3 toss ups. You're giving away ERA, and you're giving away average.
Average. Yep.
And even in ERA, that's not far off. 3.88 to here. It's not terrible, especially if you make your proper starts.
And with seven wins, you could bring that up with the streaming during the week.
Yep. And remember this: we didn't go for any of the top closers.
Yeah, or top pitchers.
Yep,
we didn't get an ace.
They may have ranked this. They may have ranked this as a 86.
Yep.
But in categories based leagues, this is dynamite. You're talking about you're dominant in 4 batting categories, straight dominant. And average, this can go up and down. This is literally like if we take one of those guys to hit bat out, all of a sudden we're up here because it's 4 in average. So it's not that much. That's also why, like a Soler guy, I just stay away from him. I just don't like those guys that kill your average.
Yeah, but then you don't know how that would go with the home runs and everything else. But one thing also viewers have to look at is when you're, let's say, that good in stolen bases, a category that is scarce, you can now maybe trade one of your guys to pick up whether.
Yes, but the way these stolen bases work on that team, it's a lot of average guys. We don't have like a Trey Turner burner,
right?
I don't know if that team could really afford it. Like one stolen base guy going away puts us at from 12 to like.
Maybe you're right. Maybe stolen bases not, but you could look at the home runs, second and home runs. You could trade a guy maybe like Soler down the road. That guy, hey, guy that says, hey, I need home runs. Well, listen, I got a guy with you. Hey, the average is not great, but he's going to hit you 40
think
home
about
runs.
Like this. If you trade Soler and maybe a pitcher and you get an upgraded pitcher, right?
Yeah.
Or you get an upgraded bat, you may be able to just increase the average enough to put, boom, five hitting categories where you dominate, and then the saves are the 6th, and boom, you're good. That's a realistic strategy. Go for all 5 hitting categories and the saves, boom. Yep. Or because again, if you're going for all those categories, it's going to be hard to maintain a whip ERA and wins unless you're going heavy with middle relief pitchers, which is kind of what we did here because some middle relief pitchers can be dropped for starters, which would push up wins in Ks as well, but it would lower saves. So you all have to balance out what you're doing and how you're doing it. But I think that's a better way to break this down in analysis on how good I think this draft made sense. Like, as you see here, it makes so much. Like, I came in with the strategy of building it for a categories-based team, like I said, head-to-head. And if you look at the way it's built for categories-based team, it's beastie. And I think Ricky knows me in categories leagues, we go pretty well. In basketball, I'm killing people, bro. I'm killing people. Ricky knows. I just took his squad down, first place, doing the thing, and I built my team on a premise. I get big men that don't, or I normally go for big men, but I didn't get big men this time. I got like forwards and small forwards that got good rebounds, that had great percentages, that get points, that get threes, and don't turn over the ball. And that's how my team is. So there'll be teams where I'm outscoring them. I'm shooting a better, or they may outscore me, but I'm shooting a better field goal, better free throw. I have less turnovers, and points we're battling. And that's
when the viewers, when it's categories, you're trying to get 6 categories, to win.
In basketball, you're getting 5. In baseball, you got to get 6.
That's 6, right? So that's what you're doing when you're doing categories. Hey, keep that in mind when you're drafting. Hey, if you could get 6 categories, hey, you are really set to go in that season.
Yep. But all right, guys. We hope we gave you all the information and insights into the draft. We kind of give you a very high level, overarching view of some of the things that you could do, some of the picks, some of the players, and we went through the whole thing to give you a full, nice breakdown. We'll probably do one more before the end of the weekend, and we'll start doing a lot more player breakdowns for you guys and some analysis, and we'll go over some closers. We'll do a closer breakdown. So you guys kind of get an idea of who's closing out and what's going on. But we have some more things coming up for you as we get into draft weekend. Hopefully this starts your day off right. We know we've just hit this Saturday. It's going to be big time. So we hope that you guys enjoy it. Hope you guys subscribe to the channel so you make sure you get all the latest content. We're going to have a lot more stuff coming for you this weekend. But stay tuned. Have a wonderful draft, guys, and peace.